Well, we're not doing audience questions. Great. If I might ask some of you, the experience of like once you start digging in the text, how your like understanding of the work evolved, how what you were doing with the work evolved over this last little period of rehearsal. I know the last week has been particularly, concentrated. Yeah.
You got the mic? I got the mic, I guess. Okay. Well, it's quite heavy, the text, right? It's quite thick, has a lot in it. And I think the text has no stage directions. It's all just text. So you kind of do whatever you like with it. And there are definitely parts where we were speaking to the director, to Ana, and to the AD, to Jack, about like traditions in Romania. So the two of us are from Romania. Ana's also from Romania, and our choreographer, Stan, is also from Romania. So there are things in there that we're like, oh yeah, totally. This is totally something we do to this day, or this is a custom that happens in this part of the country, whatever. And then there's parts that we even had no idea about, because as Dorian said at the beginning, this is from a very specific community within Romania, so we had to kind of like look it up. For example, the village festival, the Cârvai, we had no idea what that was. So, it's a bit of research, but also kind of our own imagination and what that festival looked like. And so once that happened and we had a better understanding of the text, we started to work a lot with movement and let that kind of inform what we were doing. And Ana the amazing director, was super open to our idea. And she was super open to our ideas and to our impulses and to where we felt these characters in our bodies. She always believes that other people are smarter than her, which is insane because she's the smartest person ever. So that's kind of how we worked. And then every scene we sort of massaged it first and then went deeper and deeper and deeper. And it was a combination, I'd say, of making sure that we respect the tradition and we stay true to the text and to Herta and to like everything, but also adding our own, and maybe the non-Romanians can speak more to this, but adding our own imagination onto it and our own habits or things that we relate to that were maybe not meant to be like read into the text, but still made their way to the show, right?
Yeah, I would say this play reminded me of Dylan Thomas is Under the Milkwood, if anyone's familiar, but even more so, I grew up every Christmas. We would read Dylan Thomas's A Child's Christmas in Wales. And yes, and it is structured like this play. It's a narrator, an older narrator, looking back on Christmases from his childhood. Parts of the story, he is the small child, the parts of the story he's telling a young boy about Christmases. But the Christmases are all muddled together, and all the memories are muddled together. And so, and through hearing about all of them and his experience and his weird memory of them, you understand the place, and you understand this person, and you understand the village. And so that's something that I brought immediately to the text, was having done that with my family. Yeah, of course.
Oh, hello. Check.
Get it?
Sorry. So comedy gold. Reading the actual text, the short story, which is not that short, was originally written in German. I've read the English translation because nein sprechen Deutsch. And it's very heavy. And what we have in the script is essentially word for word, verbatim, copy-pasted from the novel. It's its own translation, so it's not like she didn't literally copy-paste, she went and translated it from the German. Josefina? Yeah. Who translated it. But it's very, very true to the text, and the text is heavy and humid and muggy and deep, and it's really heavy.
It's very political.
Yeah.
Political.
describe it? Last time, would you describe it as like a choreo poem?
Yeah.
Choreo poem. So being able, like we're saying with Rastan, to the first thing we did was get up on our feet and become buffoons and do that first scene where we're throwing Por Maria around and just having a great time. And that being able to honor the text and have fun with it and not just be like, it was sad communism. They were sad.
Well, the text will do that by itself. You don't need to add
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd like to ask you, Jack, about the experience of co-directing the play. How much did you know about Herta Müller's work and about the world of Herta Müller before you started? And how was how did you approach the text and also approach this foreign universe that was so extraordinarily rendered in the end?
Thank you. Well, it was a beautiful collaboration between myself and Ana, who I once over. We all can't stop singing her praises. But my interaction with Herta's work prior to this had been nothing. And so at first, I felt like a really big responsibility and a big pressure to not, flail under the weight of the text and also her following and just the weight of her work. But after reading the adaptation, and then also Allison has shared excerpts, and also myself and Ana have gone back and looked at the original text as well. And so my interactions with those, I think, have informed the co-directing that Ana and I did. And yeah, it reminded me at least a lot of Dada work, especially once I read the adaptation, because it's so fragmented and it's shrapnels of text, between memories. It's very amorphous, and it reminded me of this play where it's a bunch of body parts talking to each other nonsensically, which is basically meant to, show the reader or the audience member what it felt like to go out into the field, and see the spoils of war and see your own family members, body parts strewn about. And I think that, at least upon reading the text and then once we put it up on its feet, with the child narrator switching between an adult and a child position, that cemented it for me, where there's this theme of refraction, disorientation, and disfigurement. But between those pieces, there are these beautiful moments of nostalgia. And that was really where me and Ana connected, because she has such, obviously, a rich wealth of knowledge of the subject matter and also her own Romanian history. So I thought it was a unique gift that she was coming with so much and I was coming with so little.
The performance is very physical. The choreography plays such an important part. And I'm sorry that Răzvan Stoian is not here tonight.
He's auditioning to be a star somewhere.
But I think he did a marvelous job. In creating all this movement that gave texture to the entire performance. How was the experience in working with such a physical, in such a physical direction?
I didn't know there was going to be a choreographer, so when I showed up on the first day, it's like, this is Ross, a choreographer. I thought, no, it's fine. That was a surprise.
Do you mind? This sums up our process entirely. By the way, these are for sale. They're $100 a pop. No, I shouldn't be the one to answer this question, though. I'm not the one carrying all the bruises, so it's like that's more of a Maria question.
I do have quite a few bruises because I feel my knees a lot, and another thing. Kids are super physical, right? And I was like full-on child, going to rehearsal, like where can I roll? Where can I? Unsafely. Thank God for my castmate. They're like, "Are you safe?" I'm like, "Yeah." Show up the next day like bruises. I'm like, "It's all good." Răzvan was really good at taking care of it and helping me explore that safely and trying his best to make sure that I can sustain this choreography for a number of rehearsals and performances. But to me, the physicality was super important, and to now be able to think about what children do, like they sit like this, or I don't care, I use my hands for everything, and I crawl everywhere, and that was super important for me. And then on top of that, to have, like I said earlier, the movement inform this text and kind of see where it lands in our body, because a lot of the times we take the text and we'll be like for example, the first scene, there's like the comb, but no one's like combing my hair. It's a lot more like I'd say metaphorical. Nothing is literal, exactly, that is on the nose, because the text is so super, of course. And I think that really helped, like where does the impulse begin in our body, and then Ruslan kind of took that spark and was like, how about we do like this? And we're like, yeah.
The one thing that I do want to add and commend Ana and Ruslan and Jack for, this was very much a devised project. So no one showed up with their homework and just pictograms or storyboard of how this is going to go. They truly worked with our bodies, our creativity, our imagination, our memories as children. Like there are ideas that we were like, oh, everybody used to do this and this and that. We're like, let's incorporate that. Let's make it. So everything happened. That's what I want to applaud them for. Like everything was, they worked with the the dough that they had. So that's what I am doing. So that's rare in theater. So
I also think that also talking about this physicality. When we started the workshop, Sven gave us a technique that all of us learned together. So we have this ground where we could dialogue among us, and then we could dialogue with Ana and him to create the scenes, and how these small village stories could become these universal stories that we could share with you, and all of us would live together and go to the small village as when she says that it becomes smaller and smaller, but actually becomes bigger and bigger, and we can bring it to the stage through the movement and the voice, to all of us have an experience into these small stories that belong to each one of us.
This project was, I think, doomed at a certain point. We had to fire the first director and half of the cast. No, I'm joking. But it was quite a difficult project to produce. And it happens that is, I should say sadly, the last project that my colleague producing, Ana Mărgineanu, is producing for us here in New York. Other tasks are waiting for her. But I'd like to thank you, Ana. Ana is coordinating our theatrical project. She does it, brilliantly, and has done a fantastic job, not only with this project, with other projects. But why was this project so different than the other? Why was so difficult? Why was doomed and then rescue and our success?
Well, we had an idea, Edward, when I was discussing about the first part of the rehearsal, which was the stage reading, and he loved Lowlands, and we said, let's do it. And then we were discussing with another director about this play last year to produce it in Washington, and we said, oh, everything it's getting together, we're going to do a fantastic job. And then our partner just didn't do it anymore, and a week before the stage reading, we didn't have anything. No director, no actors, no nothing. And then with Edward's help, also, thank you, a big thank you. Me and Dorian, of course, we fought a lot for this project, so...
Ana is also an actor, but she said, I could act myself. I just don't find anybody. I'll do it.
Dorian, without it, I can sing. No, so...
It would have been much better, of course.
into all of the involved